Welcome everyone. Makozi Racing Internacional salutes you. This is the stream for the very first round of the Manufacturer Series in Stage 2 of the FI Gran Turismo Championships. Last stream we showed the top 16 races for the first stage, which were the final races, basically. So this is the start of the new season. Can call it that. And yeah, for this first race we had Group 3 cars at Brands Hatch. So as you can see, we were driving the car in front of us on the screen, the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3, obviously sticking with that brand for quite a while now. So just have a quick look at what the event was like. It's a 13 lap race around the Brands Hatch. 5 times tyre wear, obviously no fuel wear during the race, and 3 fuel wear during the race itself. And you can only use racing hard. So pretty much a sprint race, noticeably shorter total time compared to other races that you would usually do for manufacturers or Nations Cup. So yeah, we did the first 2 slots. The first race, we qualified second, finished second. Lamborghini, they won that. And then we went into, and you can see the total time there, 18:22.9. Not very competitive at all. And then for the next race, well, you guys can see how that goes now. Hey, amazing! Oh, Fabro, EMG Shark, welcome, guys. So yeah, Fabro, thanks for the good luck wish. But I already did my races for today, so okay, I'm guessing he won the yes, exactly. Shark. He won the first slot. His qualifying time was a 23.0. I got a 23.2, so it was quite a bit off. I think I could have gone that first one, but still. The second slot had more points in it. You can see we've got lots of good drivers. Keaton, Melody himself, Emery, Adam, the top 5. And we decided to go for the second slot because we thought there would be more points. And indeed there was. Starting, we'll have McEwen and Viper's Head, Matt, there in 8. So this is the Porsche. Base and DNA 601 and there in the field. Just woke up. Oh, well, good morning, Pablo. Hope you're having a nice morning so far. Are you going to show nations fast with the rest of the region? Well, 24.1 is still a very good time. And I believe I have a replay saved. So if I have it saved, we'll check after this race. If I do, I'll show that. But yeah. I was pretty much planning just to show manufacturers, but since you mentioned it, I'll try and make that happen. So qualified in P1, also with a 23.0 for the second slot. So we improved greatly from our first attempt, and this was pretty much my race to lose. If I was not careful. Keaton or they could have caught up very easily. So, just the one thing I want to emphasize here from the start is the weaving. That was very important. So for everyone that's doing their races today, later tonight, when when you start the race on that back straight, you really should weave a little bit, because you're not going to lose position unless you spin out, of course. But that's going to really help you warm up your tires, and it's going to give you a better start than usual. See the Metal here. This remove doesn't give Keaton too much room to fight back, but obviously going into turn 3, Keaton has the inside, so Metal Gear has to stay behind in third. See, the Emery is very close as well. Everyone's pretty close at this point, and I don't think anyone has made a position up until this point. James. Yeah, welcome, James. So you can see that Metal Gear, he's trying to go for a move, trying to find some way past Eden, but it's not working, and because of that, you can see he's really falling back into Emery's clutches, and it's pretty much a train at this point. It's the first lap still, but it looks like there's a big queue of cars starting to form, especially behind Metal Gear. This was better for me. It seemed to be better in street cars for some reason, but anyway, it's perhaps that's just your cup of tea. Usually there are some guys that prefer road cars. So for example, I know there are some drivers that really like doing the Super Cup, for example, and that's really just road car. You've got someone like Pirata from Europe, who he is a road car specialist, mostly. So there are people out there that really do a lot better. But even if you barely use them, I don't know what to say. It's people like different things, and it's still good to see that you're being fast in one thing compared to the other. Although it is great to have to be better across the board in general, different categories. Being specialized in one thing isn't too bad either. Good battles, Metal Gear in this car. Oh, that's nice. It's good to know. Battles. When I had no slip, you just put. Yeah, that's usually what happens when you drive against someone like him. He's really fast, and if you give him the opportunity, he'll use that to run away, to make a gap. You only took time. Oh, okay. Hello Nick, how are you? Hey Scorpion, I'm doing fine, thank you. How about yourself? I'm glad to hear that I'm your favorite AMG driver. I mean, perhaps I'm not the fastest out there, like in all the regions, but still, I'm glad you think it that way. Thank you. How did the race go, Red Mist? Weren't you in that? I thought you were in that race, Red Mist. Hang on. Actually, let me check. Oh no, you weren't. So you joined the race, but I assume you disconnected. I'm not sure. I remember you were in that. Oh well. You see, Matt Simmons spins out. It's a very common mistake. You can see that just gets a little bit too feisty and gets a bit of the outside of the last corner, and the car goes around. That really is a common mistake. Happens to everyone. You can see that it just loses really a lot of time trying to get back up to speed, unfortunately. And you can see he also has some damage. Left in qual. Oh, why is that red mist? Oh yeah, now I remember. Why'd you leave? I remember you mentioned having something like 6 laps of practice, but it was only the start of qualifying, so it was just a little bit strange seeing you leave, I guess. It would be good to practice at least in the race to see how in a real environment, and then if anything you'll be ready for the next slot. That's what you could have done. So not much has changed from what I can see. Brands Hatch is one of these tracks that doesn't offer too much overtaking by itself. Like, you would have to have driver skill gaps that are much larger than usual. So, for example, you need to have a driver rating A+ versus an A driver to have some action decently if they're all on the same cars. Manufacturer series, you can see different cars, GTR there, pure axle, sorry, going for a pass in the GTR. Master, unfortunately, going a little bit wide there. But like I said, Brands Hatch isn't one of those tracks that is easy to overtake on. It's actually very, very difficult. And if you're not careful, sure, it will happen. But it's really all down to who makes the most mistakes. Use brake balance 1 for this race, really fast. My left rear was so shaky by the end of the NS6 does kill its tires. Well, yeah, AMG, that's one thing that the NS6 has, like the Huracan and the Audi here, of Emery and Metal Gear respectively. They do burn through its rear tires a bit faster, so that's why MR cars are just a lot better at turning in, a lot better at in the rain, for example, and long corners that are lasting. I don't know how to say it. We have to carry more speed. Obviously, they don't understeer quite as much as, let's say, the BMW or the AMGs. So you can go faster on a single lap. More maneuverability, of course, but that's a trade-off for more tire wear, unfortunately. Looking at this, I wish I did the second slot rate. Oh well, amazing. What you're in the Subaru? Yeah, I think you qualified P5, if I'm not mistaken, in the first race. P4. I'm not quite sure. If you but if you went into this one, I think you had a very good chance of a top 5, if anything. So there's nothing too much going on at this point. People are starting to spread out a bit. From what I can see, the only thing that's really happened was Matt here, unfortunately, spinning out, and the overtake that Pure Axel did on Tank Master. So apart from that, see, there really hasn't been too much going on. It's just one of my best tracks. Ah, I see AMG. Could not get a win because there is no space. Yeah, that's like I said, that's a big characteristic of Brands Hatch. When you're driving something as fast as Group 3, there isn't, like, it's all down to qualifying. Yeah, that's good. qualified P6, finished P4 in the first race. I see. Well, mate, Andrew, one thing I need to say is that the Subaru is very good. As a car, the Subaru is very strong, Group 3. If you go into the daily race B this week, you will find in the leaderboard that there are a lot of Subarus there. First guy's got a Subaru. I've even done a time there with the WRX. And the few things that I found that was good about it when I drove it yesterday was that it can change direction very quickly. It has a lot of acceleration in those first 4 gears, and if you bring it to a track like Brands Hatch, that's where it should shine. Did not know it was going to be a problem. Yeah, AMG, that's what practice is for, Tyler. Like when I'm using every inch of the track driving style like a V8. Yeah, I like that too, AMG. That I really like seeing people go and use the max of the track. That's what I try to do. Obviously not going over that limit, but still. Hey Smokey, welcome. I'm doing fine, thanks. Thank you for the comment on the previous video, the previous stream that I did. I noticed that, and we haven't replied just yet, but still, cheers. I'm doing very well, thank you. And how are you doing as well? I hope everything's going fine over there in Canada. So yeah, at this point, we are just taking it easy, trying to manage the tires a little bit, and pushing as much as we can still to eke out some sort of advantage over Keaton. So the gap at this point is around 2 seconds. For the first couple of laps it was 1.2, 1.1, 1 second. Keaton was hanging in there, but it seemed like he made a small mistake on laps. Let's just stop that there. On lap 4 and 5, for example. So you can see he does a 24.1 and 24.0, almost 24.1, and I do a 23.8 and a 23.9. So that was what let me pull away a little bit. Also in lap 6 I got a bit faster too. And you can see lap 7 I was just eking out that advantage just a little bit so I could stay in front. So that worked, and around this point I was outside of the slipstream range, which was good. It felt pretty good to drive around here. Only about 2 tenths off you guys in the first. Yeah, amazing. I mean, maybe if you put a tiny bit more practice in it, I think you could have definitely been up there, because that's what the Subaru is really good. And you've been really developing a lot as a driver. Well, I'm not putting up on a pedestal or anything, but you have been making a lot of progress recently, and you will eventually get there. I think you definitely have got the pace to win these races. Let's see. Thanks for your tip on the last stream to drive the middle of the track to avoid dirty. I have been using that, so then it works like a treat. Yeah, no thanks, no problem, AMG. I'm glad that you've used that. I actually, oh yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that it's working for you. It's Sardinia race C. Yeah, okay. I would see that would definitely work on that track. So, like I said, you want to be outside of the dirty air under braking so you can brake later. You can't get the line and whatnot, but yeah, thanks for letting me know. Can you tell more? Welcome. Good to hear, but no worries. I was on the edge of my seat last lap. Yep. Glad to hear that, Smokey. That it was an interesting race to watch. I was giving it everything in that top 16 because I wanted to win. Qualifying didn't go too well, so I had a bit of work to do, and I was getting held up a little bit. So to capitalize on that mistake that happened at the end by P2, that was felt very rewarding. I'm glad I was able to win that. Okay, I'm not sure what that is, but oh, Nick. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, tell me about the apexes. Yeah, that's wow. I remember that scene. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Thanks for reminding about that, Tom. That's yeah, that was a nice thing. And, thanks for bringing that up. It's good to see you again. Cheers, man. That's yeah, one day to be able to give you a run. Yeah, mate. I'm looking forward to when that day comes. I'll give it everything as always, and you'll most likely be throwing it everywhere, just trying to get all the pace you can. I'll be doing exactly the same, and I look forward to the day that we can have a nice fight. Anyhow, this was an interesting bit, and this is what I meant. It's very hard to overtake on Brands Hatch unless someone makes a mistake, and you can see here, Keaton, he breaks a bit late, almost goes off track after clipping the grass, going into turn 4, and you can see that just lets Metal Gear immediately capitalize on that and go for the position. You see there, Keaton goes wide, just a little bit too wide, dirty tires as well, and Metal Gear out into P2. Tire wise, it's pretty fine, not looking too bad at all. So perhaps it's just a small lapse of concentration, which is unfortunate, but it does happen in Brands Hatch. It's a very, very hard track to be consistent at when you're driving on the limit. You see the Emery, she also almost makes a move work. Unfortunately, she finds herself on the outside of Keaton in the next corner, so she's also out of slipstream. She goes into behind Keaton, defends, middle of the road, goes back into the racing line, and then just decides to follow him. It wastes too much time. You can see there Adam, he's also not too far behind, so he might be able to do something. They showed a different sticker coming throughout the field. It was, oh, thank you, Smokey. I think if you're referring to nations, especially, I think that was kind of important to show, because yeah, I've used people mostly have remembered me by kind of an all-out driving style, where I don't give up. Like, even if I lose the position, I start driving far more aggressively than I should be to try and get that back. And yeah, I changed that somewhat over the course of last year, especially towards the end. Yeah, I've been trying to make some progress this year. You can see that was shown in the nations, I would say. Despite having a mistake and everything, I was still trying to play it smart and not force myself where I shouldn't have been. Use up the traction, yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say I was on fire. I know another driver, like Tidgeny, for example, he would be on fire. But yeah, thank you anyway. Nick, you should ask Cliffy to add some damage to G's. Well, Telmo, that's a great idea. I would like that very much, but I'm not the person to talk to about that. I'm not in a position to ask Polyphony for that. There are some drivers, or some people, sorry, I should say, not drivers, that would be able to make that, but I don't know. That's pretty much what the beta testers are for. So you never know, maybe coming into the next Gran Turismo, if they release a beta, maybe you'll be lucky enough to be chosen. And yeah, if there isn't any damage like that in the next Gran Turismo game, you should be, perhaps they will let you give feedback on that. But in terms of this game, I don't know if that's really possible this far in. Thanks, Megan. Yeah, moving on. We've already come to the end of the race. Like I said, it's a short race. The times were very consistent, so you could see from lap 6 onwards, it was all 23.7, 23.7, 23.7, 26, 7, 6, 7, and I was throwing at everything by this stage. The way this combination works is that the more you, deeper you get into the race, the lighter the car becomes, and that gives it the opportunity to push more despite the tires wearing out. So you actually gain speed over the course of the stint, which is a bit surprising. Like, usually we expect the car to go slower as per the normal FIA race, but this is a different way of doing things, so I like it. It's interesting. Do you see that? Hey Aussie Devil, welcome. You see that at the start of the race again? That's a shame, Aussie. You'll get there eventually, don't worry. You can always, if you do well in the time trials for the daily races, then you can always do those. It is slower, obviously it's a lot more grindy, of course, but you can get there if you try hard enough. It was strong, and obviously he drives at that level, but it was still impressive watching you deal with. Yeah, thanks, Maggie. I mean, the on fire bit, because there's a bit of a joke that's been around for some time that Tijani is on fire. Tij is on fire actually, so just thought I should bring that up. Where's AMG? Yep, exactly. Not me onto PC now, mate. Oh, there you go. Well, it's a shame to see you go, Telmo, but all the best. I do go on PC sometimes. Not too much this month recently, but I have been from time to time. That's the win. Yeah, thanks, Aussie Devil. Cheers. I was giving it everything for this one. So that was the fastest lap for about 3 seconds or so, because Metal Gear here. Oh wait, no, it wasn't the fastest lap, but he eventually did a faster time than me. That Huracan proving to be a very, very quick car in the right hands around Brands Hatch. The beta for this. Oh, I see, Tell me. Yeah, I didn't have the honor of doing the beta Gran Turismo Sport, so I didn't know how it works. Will always be my favorite. Yeah, obviously AMG. You've got it in the name, so that's expected. So further down the field, it's again, it's pretty much stayed the same. Lion face, something happened to Viper's Head, I believe. Yeah, the ninth lap, he was really slow. Oh, he got a penalty from somewhere. Let's see this. So lap 9. So what happens? Oh, last, oh, there it is. Last corner. And he gets a, oh, okay. That's a very harsh. So you can see he slides out, he has all fours off the track, and because it's on the inside, the game thinks that he's cutting the track, and that's why it's giving him a penalty. That's at least how I see it. Man, that's interesting. I didn't know that's how it could work. Oh, and you can see that Tank Master also having an off-track excursion. Oof, yeah. Oh, hitting the wall there. Dirty tyres and some front damage is not going to help him at all. One bit. And you can see the rears are pretty much bunched up at this point. So, let's just have a look here. Just wondering, mate, trail braking worth amazing hour, by the way, on this game. It helps in certain situations. So, for example, if you need to save tires, trail braking, you have to do that. That's very important. Long corners where you have some car that's understeering quite a bit. Generally, the ABS works in a way that if you keep on the brakes more and you have the throttle off, it's actually rotating better than it would be without any brake at all. So, trail braking, it does have its uses. It's a good skill to learn, obviously. Every driver professionally should know that by default. And yeah, I found that it does help. Because back in 2018 and the start of 2019, I didn't know how to save tires at all. I was not trail braking. I was going max brake input whenever I had the chance, whenever I came into a braking zone. And my fronts were burning up very quickly. And the car was becoming unstable, and it wasn't helping my race pace at all. So somewhere around the middle of 2019, when I met one of my AMG teammates for the first time, that's when that changed. He actually taught me a bit how to save tires, and it was really important to learn how to trail brake. So he emphasized that a lot, and with time I actually learned that. And now that's let me save tires a lot better than I used to, and it's actually made me one of the better tire savers in my region. Not promoting myself too much, but based on facts, my tires I'm able to save them very well. So it really is worth it learning that. But yeah, under is my sprint race car. Wish you hadn't. Okay, I'm not sure what you didn't wish you hadn't done, Tomo, but okay. Cut crazy, yeah. It's a shame for Vipers. Was so sad to see my good friend take miles. Yeah, it's a shame. A few divers about, still 6 is decent to do. Yeah, still. Thought the Group 4 got a nerf. No, the Group 4 Honda. No, it didn't get a nerf in this recent update. It did before. It got more weight and more power, so it wasn't too good on. It hasn't been amazing on tires anymore, but it's still very good on fuel. It's still very, very decent all-round Group 4 car. One that I would highly recommend to use. Yeah, the Group 3 Honda hasn't been changed one bit, so that car is amazing now. Pretty much top tier. The only thing it lacks is top speed. It ticks every box like fuel, tire wear if you can control that. 1 lap pace is not amazing, but it's still very strong. And the traction you get out of corners is great. It's the best car in the rain. yeah. I just wanted to be short because one of my mates does it a lot and he's trying to get me used to doing it. Yeah, amazing. If you can learn how to trail brake efficiently, then that's good. There's a saying, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So if you trail brake too much, you're not going to be pushing the car too hard, and you're going to be going slower. One piece of advice I would suggest to learn how to trail brake is to watch how Lewis Hamilton does it, the maestro of Gran Turismo. How he does it in the Lewis Hamilton time trial challenge. He really knows. He's got that down to an art basically, and every single lap that he does, he always uses it in some case. So it's always good to watch him to learn how to do it. As you can also like I have some videos about that. I did the Lewis Hamilton time trial challenge. I was trying to beat his times, and I kind of explained. I first watched his lap, then I explained it, then I did what I could to try and beat it and try and do as good as I could on the leaderboard. So if you want, you can go and have a look at that. Must have been a couple of months ago now, but they are very helpful. Those laps by the maestro. So at the end of the race, we came first, Metal Gear second, Keaton third, Emery fourth, and Adam fifth. Really not too much to say on this. The only big losers here were Keaton, Viper Z, Tank Master, and Mint, because he fell right back to the rear of the grid. Okay, just curious, I'm only going to be for less than 4 months racing a line, but I'm 2 seconds a lap slower than you on this circuit. Is that decent for experience level? So you've been on the game for less than 4 months, and you're 2 seconds off. I would say that's fine. There are people that do it quicker, like people that have spent less time and they're faster. I just guess it all comes in its good time. Some people take more to get used to things than others. But yeah, if you're 2 seconds off at this point, that's fine. It's like you just see what times you're doing now. You save that. Save it as a like on a piece of paper or somewhere. That's what I would say. Put it on a piece of paper somewhere. And then in another 4 months' time, remember that combination that you did. Come back to it and try it again and see how fast you can do then. And then if you can improve it, that's great. If you're not, then that means that you're not. You've actually lost something along the way, along those 4 extra months. So you might want to try and backtrack, try and see what you're doing wrong. The only suggestion I can give is watching the top 10 guys most of the time. That's where you can see how they brake, how they accelerate, what inputs they have, and try to copy their moves, basically. Now let's just have a quick look, see if the Nations Cup is saved. Yes, it is. So I did actually save the first 3 races, first 3 slots. Let's go with the fastest one. I'm not sure, AMG Schalke, if you were in the second one, but we'll just have a look here. I did actually all 5 slots yesterday. Problem was I got disconnected in the last one. I wasn't too happy about that because I was doing very well up until that point, but still, it happens. Obviously, I was pushing my luck a bit too much. So spreadsheet, yep, no problem, Aussie Devil. I think that's what you should be doing, keeping track of your progress, and that's really the only way you're gonna notice the difference. Like for me, I didn't do that, and when Gran Turismo came out, Sport came out, I was 1 second off the best guys easily. It was 1.5 seconds off. over time, like 2017, 18, I wasn't noticing the difference much. So I was just driving, minding my own business, and in the end, like when I sat down and I looked at my previous streams, then I started noticing. If I compared my previous driving style to what I am now, I think I've become a bit more complete as a driver, and I've gotten a lot more faster over time. Even has better top speed. I don't know about that. Like, I think the Huracan has better top speed. I think it by a big chunk, actually. Yeah. Anyhow, moving on. This is Nations Cup. This is what we did yesterday, actually. So yeah. Well done. Yeah, thank you, Ranger. Didn't see you in the races, which I'm gonna assume anything, but maybe perhaps you're holding off on choosing a brand yet, because I saw McEwen there. He's in Alfa Romeo. That was surprising. I thought he was going to go back to Chevrolet, but ah well. Yeah. See you, mate. Yeah, see you, Telmo. All the best. Trinky, a lot both of you have increased my time, so I'm grateful for these channels. Yeah, no problem, Lizzie. I'm happy I could help. About Group 3 stats. Ah, well, AMG. Okay, there you go. I mean, the stats don't always tell the story, but it's really just going out there and driving it. That's the only way to prove it. So you've got a pretty good start off the line. Amazing out there in second, Viper Z in third. You can see me just wiggling the car a little bit to get some heat in the tires once again. And now they're in second. Oh, okay, first and second slot. So I don't see... Oh, there you are. Okay, so you started a bit far. You started in 14th. No, you made your way up to 12th. So that's a very good start by AMG. You guys can just have a look at how it is here. It's very, very congested. See other cars there in the rearview mirror. Coming into turn 1, it's never an easy task doing that cleanly. Getting through there without losing positions. You can see that it's a little bit of contact. Master trying to hold his 12th place, but it just doesn't work. You can see that AMG Shark up into 12th, and he'll be pretty happy with that considering he's improved at the start of the race. Entered slot 3, only finished work at 5:30 p.m. So missed. Oh, I see, Ranger. So it's back to usual, pretty much with work where you guys are at this point. That's interesting. The AMG Shark going on the inside of Rosmo. Gets a 1 second penalty for his troubles. Let's have a look at that. Well, yeah, there was a little bit of contact. Yeah, that's surprising. It wasn't. Could have held it just a little bit more on the inside. But yeah, that's unfortunate there. Obviously, a penalty is never a good sign. See back there, it's a very tight bunch of drivers. Position. Tank Master goes up into 13th. Consolidate whatever he can from this slightly bad start in his part. Yeah. Well, Ranger, if you did the third slot, may I ask how it went? Just interested. Were the points okay? I know Brands Hatch in Group 3, it's not the most exciting of combinations. You can see that John drops down. EMG, he loses 2 spots. Goes defensive. Tankmaster thinks about maybe going on the inside there. Decides against it. And, Bob Hoskins and Honorably Airborne, they both go off wide, and someone in front also. You can see that Rosmo and 50 also going off wide. So it's that was a big issue, I would say, for this race. The one thing that could catch people out, the one major thing, was 130R, that fast left-hander, and if you weren't careful, you could go off and really spin out easily. See there, Frithie just not having a nice experience there, getting spun around by John, unfortunately. So further up the field, let's have a quick look. I found this race fun, unlike the first one where I ended. Come on, don't say that. Amazing hour, don't spoil it. But to be fair, you were doing a very good job, I must say. Like, for everyone that's watching, Andrew, Amazing Hour in chat, he actually asked me about some tips, something that could have assisted him in this race, and after mentioning a few things, I don't think it was much my tips that helped us more than Amazing. I'd probably try finding a bit more pace, and it's good to see that he actually improved from last time around. So kind of just missed that right there. The first corner, someone went off. Is it Muffin? Oh no, actually Phillips goes off. Rosmo follows. Yeah, there's I was surprised Muffin wasn't the one that went off, because Byron here, he saved the first initial turn in, but then just went off wide, and yeah, so he drops down. Rosmo loses out to AMG Shark, and you can see AMG, he improves from 14th up to 9th, so that's a good job by him. Yeah, you can see a lot of people getting caught out there. Actually had some tires at the end this time. Yeah, Andrew. That was a big thing about this race. You needed to save tires, but still be fast. And one of the things that I mentioned to Andrew was holding the throttle as much as you could to carry more speed. I found that the car seems to rotate more. Another tip, like you can see what he was doing here. He holds third gear coming into the hairpin, so he doesn't go into fourth, because that would have taken some speed away, having to change into fourth gear. He wouldn't have reached 142. So there are some small things, some small little points that you can get, and by themselves they don't give you too much time, but if you add it all together, it does work. It does work not miracles, but it does work like a charm if you can get it all together. I tend to do with a tire aggressive. Yeah, it's okay, AMG. It happens to everyone. Yo, is that the magnificent Makozi? Sure. Ma'am, if you see me that way, yes, it is the magnificent Makozi here at your service. Yeah, hey Dozlam, how's it going? We watched the Manufacturer Series stream a bit earlier. So if you're here for that, as the title suggests, you're more than welcome to go back. Unfortunately, this has turned into a bit of a clickbait now, and we're into Nations Cup because we didn't stream that yesterday. So yeah, let's go a bit further now. We've gone a bit too far back, and you can see, amazing how he's doing okay this time around. His fronts are holding up just fine, and he's staying there. That's good. What I want to see now is, yeah. So one thing that Amazing how didn't do now, or maybe he doesn't do it quite as much, is changing when he's changing gears, taking off the throttle, because that actually lets the the flywheel come off, change the to be engaged. It lets the engine be a bit more engaged when you go into that next gear, and it doesn't help too much. It just lets the car carry the momentum into the next gear, into the next one, and so on, and it just gives you that little bit of time. Obviously, it doesn't amount to much, but like I said before, if you get everything together, it does give you a tenth or two. So here's the shot. Yeah, so there you go. He actually went off. Oh, there you have it. Struggling to keep the car on track. Goes off and gets stuck on the AstroTurf a little bit. Yeah. Oh, I'm about to go to bed, but I just wanted to pop in and say, yeah. Well, thanks for that, Dodge. I hope we can reconvene soon. Yeah, I hope for that too. To see you at a World Tour, to see all the World Tour drivers back at the World Tour, that would be great. Keep safe, mate. That's all I can say. Just be really careful. I'm hearing all the stuff that's going on over there in the US, and it's not pretty. Current situation that we have in the world right now. Some of the clashes that are happening over there. It's a shame. Yeah, like I said, just stay safe. I'd really like to see you again. So JR, he's going for a pass on the outside when he's actually defending with the outside line. Yeah. Also go off again. Oh. Okay. So Airborne, he gives JR a bit of a tap. But still, that lets JR just hold the outside. He's going to have a better exit. He's going to have the toe. And it's going to be really hard for Airborne to get by. Good evening, Cody. Well done in that Brands hat. Thank you, Danny. Welcome and good evening to yourself. I was watching through. Oh, I was actually checking for downstream. I couldn't find it of the second slot. So if he, it'd be interesting to see how he was doing in that second slot. Like just watching the chat and everything. It would be nice to watch that. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you very much. It's been a wild year thus far, but also, yeah, that's the important thing, Dodge. Just hang in there, mate. Yeah, and take care. See you soon, mate. All the best. Oof, Roger out there. Getting a bit wild on the grass, having to brake early, and that's letting Airborne get very close indeed. So I've been stuck on this third lap for a very long time. Airborne gets a penalty for cutting the last chicane, I believe. G-Shark, he loses from 9th after that off-track excursion. He's down in 11th, but he's catching up to Rosmo and Tank Master at this point. Dylan and Vipers are there, pretty close to each other. Might go for a move if he's close enough. Doesn't look like it at this point. Yeah. Airborne doesn't... Oh, well. I mean... Huh? He's not the only one. AMG. There are many... Like, Airborne doesn't like a few guys. So, you're not the only one there. Don't worry. Yeah, nothing I can say about that race. So you can see Dylan there, he actually manages to get it on the outside of Viper, so we'll see if he can hold it there. He goes for the outside part. That was very, very good stuff from him. To make that work. You don't see that happen too much in these combinations, because the guy on the inside, he could just easily hold his line, and Dylan had a very good chance of going off. So, wow, yeah. That takes a lot of courage to do. So yeah, Dylan, if you're watching that was a nice move. Well done. A very hard-earned third place. So just to give you a perspective of how what Amazing Hour was like. These are my front tires. These are his. After 5 laps, he went to the 6th one. He, if I was to go and watch the first replay and show you guys that, his fronts would have been a lot worse. So, I'm not going to show it because there's nothing interesting that happened in that first race. But you can see in the period of about 1 hour, he improved greatly. So that's what I really like seeing. I like seeing drivers improve. He's gotten used to the car, and it's great to see guys like this. They're making progress. Always a welcome sight in Gran Turismo. Catching more. Oh, that's good. But even though I finished 8th in the first lap, finished 10th in the 3 points. So yeah, that's how the player base in each slot works. Usually, if you have higher ranked drivers in the first one, sorry, if you have lower ranked drivers in the first slot, but you finish higher, you'll get a certain amount of points. If you're in the second slot, but there are more higher ranked drivers, there'll be more points. So even if you finish lower by a position or two, you'll still get somewhere around the same, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. Yeah, that's how it works. I'm guessing the way they've done it is that it takes the average driver rating into account, and that's how they determine the points. But also safety rating, pretty sure makes some sort of a part of that score as well. So safety ranking is very important at this point of the season. If you don't have a good safety rating, you're not going to get into high lobbies at all. First race, watch my 3-way. AMG I would, but I think showing this one race would be enough. No offense, I would like to show that, but the main aim of this stream was to show manufacturers, and this one race for Nations I believe is enough. You know what, I'll show it quickly. Sorry for sounding a bit mean there, but I will show it. It's just that this is all about manufacturers, and to have to go through those, but it's fine. I'll do it. Sorry about that, AMG. So you can see here, Tank Master, he goes off. Yeah, not really good for him. So we'll go a bit further now, a bit faster. Nothing too much happening. Viper's pulling behind Dylan. Actually gets in front of him at one point. Still need to just work on my left front tire. Yeah, amazing. You're getting there. That's a good thing. You can see Dylan there. He goes off wide. He can't stay in front, even though his fronts are better. Yeah, we'll just go at the end. See What happened to whom? And yeah, I won the race, obviously. Not obviously, I won the race. A good few seconds behind Amazing Al. Hey Ryan, welcome. Afternoon. So let's see, it was about 7 seconds or 6 seconds off. This is his tires. These are my tires. So you can see they are still meaningfully better. Again, that just comes through experience. So it's going to take a while for him to get to that point. Not a while, but it'll just take a lot of practice and training to reach that. And to think about it when you're driving. So I'm first, Amazing Al second there, very good job by him. Viper's in third, and Dylan unfortunately getting a 2-second penalty down in fourth, Brazil in fifth. So AMG Shark, he got up from 14th, finished 9th. That was a decent result by him, and almost does a celebratory 360 over the line for the effort. Yeah, I'll go into the first race now, so you guys can have a look at that. Yeah. What's the sort of points you're getting for a win at the moment? Well, Smokey, for nations, it's around 270 points, 260. The last slot, if I won the last slot, I would have gotten 212 points for the win. But I disconnected from up. So yeah, it's not too high in nations. Manufacturers though is a different story. Manufacturers for a win is around 330s, 340. This round I actually got 339 for winning the second slot. Right. Yep, exactly. Right. I actually did stream the race earlier on. So if you want, you can go back into the stream, go to the start of it, for the first 5 minutes, and you can catch the manufacturer race there. I know the title says manufacturer series only, but because of the request from some of the viewers here, we actually decided to stream nations as well, to have 2 in 1, basically. But yeah, Smokey, the points aren't too great for nations. Really, the only thing to do now is the top 16s. I'm really doing nations at this point to enjoy driving, to put myself the challenge of learning some cars that I don't usually drive. And that's just really helping me complete myself as a driver. So I just take it for the challenge. I drive past in terms of everyone else. There's a saying that if you look like you're slow, you're usually going fast. And what that alludes to is the driving style. If you're being smooth, you'll feel like a Sunday drive. But like the tires and the times that you're getting, they're going to tell you otherwise. If you're throwing it around everywhere, you feel like you're putting a lot of energy into the wheel and whatnot. It'll look like it's fast, but it actually isn't. You can see that, again, leaving the tires, getting some warmth in there. And let's go further. So AMG starts 10th at this point. Gets a little bit of a tap there from Dylan. Dylan loses the inside, and AMG gets 2 for 1 there. So good job. It's turning into a free-for-all back there, and Dylan's at the head of that thing, so he's not going to have too easy of a time to yeah, he's not going to have an enjoyable race, let's say that. think he didn't do too well in qualifying, so I had to help him out there a little bit with the turn, but still couldn't make that quite work. So AMG Shark up into 8th. Good stuff from him. Felix GTR going for a move on Viper Z. That's a big difference between the two. Yes, but to be fair, there are some people are losing interest in the Nations Cup due to the way the combos are. So they see road car, they see Suzuka, and they probably think, oh, it's very difficult, it's a bit boring, you can't get any overtakes done. But also the main thing is, some guys, they want to have a break. Like last Saturday we had the top 16. That was the end of the first stage. That's basically the end of a season. This season started on the next Tuesday after that top 16. So it was literally just 3 days between races. And top 16 is pretty intense. I don't know any other series that has a race every 3 days, even after the one season is finished. I don't think that exists anywhere else. So it's really putting a lot of pressure on the drivers to practice a lot, to do well, and you can see some people would obviously like to have a bit of a break. Yeah, hey Phillips, a bit late. How's it going? I'm doing fine, thanks. How about yourself? I know it's a bit late. I initially planned to stream the manufacturer series after I did it, but I had some other obligations I had to tend to, so I couldn't really make that happen. And now it's after the 3rd slot and even the 4th slot now, so I'm doing it now. So sorry about that. It's a bit late, I know. Yeah, it's a very, very intense schedule, and what I think about that, I think it's actually a good thing, because it's bringing the best out of the drivers. They're really focusing a lot. Onto the race. The Shark trying to go for a move on Legend. Legend there have his hazard lights on. Probably apologising for holding him up a little bit. Yeah. Taking a break from the whole game until GTC can't play. Okay. Yeah, I get that, Phillips. It's whatever you choose, that's up to you, and I respect that. People have different things to do. They have only so much time to themselves, and yeah, whatever you choose, that's fine. Just went on to lap 8. Okay. Well, I don't see any moves going. It is very close at this point. See Shark going on the outside there. GTP Leisure can't get it done. He's trying to go on the inside, can't make that work. Further ahead, I believe. No, there isn't. But it's also a nice tight group here for third. Let's keep going. So AMG and Legend, they're fighting it out here. They both want that 6th place very badly. See AMG trying to Sell the dummy on the outside and go on the inside. Legend's just not having any of that. Staying in the middle of the road. And nothing he can do at this point. His tires light. Yeah, so Legend has the best tires at this point. Shark he's got a little bit worse for wear, and then Vipers is behind is a bit worse than Shark. There with a 2-second penalty. That's going to drop him down. Way down, all the way from 10th to 14th. Oh. Showing his nose there up on the inside, it's can do that. It's right there, but it's compromising his exit and leaving a little bit vulnerable to Vipers, but Vipers is just too far away at this point. Everyone going on the inside. But yeah, this is a nice last second move there, where one time mark losing out, dropping 2 places instead of 1. See there, Dylan, he's found his way on the outside, and he gets 2 places up, and Airborne, after putting all that effort in, he just stays right where he is. He's going to have to do that all over again. So it's starting to get a bit feisty at this point. Shark goes on the outside of Legend. Vipers is just holding position. Ooh, Legend giving a bit of a bump there. Getting a bit of a bump there, sorry. Oh, getting very, very feisty. Shark. Getting a 1-second penalty. That was interesting. I don't know, I'm guessing it was because of the small contact he gave to Viper, and then Viper hit Legend. That's a hard one to judge there. I'm surprised that he got that, to be honest. Legend was a bit slow on... Yeah, he was. He braked a bit earlier to avoid forcing AMG off. So he was keeping that in mind. He actually braked right when he was supposed to. And Viper just... Perhaps he didn't see the braking marker, and he just went into the back of Legend. So he's the big loser at this point. I think we'll stream the live FIA gameplay. Yeah, like Byron said, AMG, I can't do that because I can, but I run the risk of getting disconnected, and that's gonna potentially lose me important races, like yesterday, and it's going to lose me driver rating, safety rating. I very much like to have it live, but I just can't afford that. It's less work for me as well. Like by the time I come into these replays, I kind of know what has already happened, so I can show you guys more detail, and I don't have to waste quite as much time doing the race, then going to the replay, then having to go out, trying to get some practice in, and then again doing another race. So up in front, GTR again. You can see that's what the AstroTurf does. Goes around, just misses the barrier there, and he holds on to 5th, but he's not now lost the slipstream, and he's only got one lap left to catch up to Lockie and Pure Axel, which I don't think he could do. Maybe if they fight, but it's asking a lot. See the AMG Shark, he drops down. GTR, he goes off at the first corner as well. So that's dropping him into the clutches of Lapazid, the legend there. Yeah, I understand AMG. That's all good. Phillips, you see that? Yeah, I saw that, Phillips. It didn't give him the extra horsepower or any extra speed, but I mean, at least he did that race in style. Can give him that. Yeah, so it's good that still got some happiness going through Top Split Oceania for the time being. So in the end, I win again. I was really not putting it too much on me, but I want to show you guys now Amazing Alex tires again. So this is me. This is amazing. Now let's go a little bit further. And if you compare this to last race, my fronts I think were around the same. Amazing Hour front right and left were worse. Not by much, but it was still worse. And given the fact that he improved for the second race by about 10 seconds, well, not 10 seconds, by a couple of seconds, that's a good job by him. So if you're still watching, Andrew, good job. Hopefully we can see some of that in the future. Pure Axel here, he is trying to fend off Lockie for third. See there, he cuts the first half of the chicane. And after all that work, he ends up with a 1.5 second penalty. So a bit of a bittersweet moment for Pure Axel. He finishes third but comes fourth in the end. GTR manages to fend off Vipers and Legend after going off twice. And Shark there coming in 8th, trying to again to do another celebratory 360. Yeah, good job by him. John in 9th, and rounding up the top 10 we have Honorably Airborne. He's going to use it. Gave him plenty of honesty through the... Yeah, I agree, Phillips. Didn't give him too much help. Manufacturers. He's going to use it. Oh, okay, that's good. But yeah, that's going to be it for now, guys. A little bit longer stream this time because we did both nations and manufacturers. Next race for nations, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, Kyoto Yamagiwa with N500 cars. So the reverse layout. We haven't been to Yamagiwa in quite a long time, so that's going to be interesting to see who remembers it better. For manufacturers, it's going to be Saint Croix A with Group 4. So that should suit the SLS very well. Lots of long straights. We'll see. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate the support. And yeah, all the best to you guys who have yet to race manufacturers today. I hope it goes well. It's a no stop. Just save tires, push all you like. See you soon for the next stream, and remember to stay safe. Until next time, driving with the best.